morning children. In last class we have discussed about preparation and physical properties of ammonia. How we can prepare ammonia? We can prepare the ammonia by Haber's process. What is the Haber's process? When hydrogen and nitrogen reacts together, it produces ammonia. That is the major synthesis of ammonia. The conditions and the temperature, catalyst, everything we have seen. In the physical properties also we have seen it has a high dielectric constant. It is a good solvent like water. Okay, all those things we have discussed in the last class. Now we are going to see the chemical properties of ammonia. In this chemical properties here, action of heat, reaction with air, then it can act as a reducing agent, the reducing property, and with acid how it will react, with chlorine and chloride how it will react, then with how it forms amides and nitrites, then what is the reaction with metallic salts, all those things we are going to see today. The first we are going to talk about action of heat. Here in this ammonia it is NH3. When we are heating this ammonia above 500 degrees Celsius, the presence of nickel or iron, any one catalyst we can choose here. When we heat, it will be converted into nitrogen and hydrogen. You can remember this equation where we have learned this equation in last class. Just reversely we have learned it as a Haber's process. When nitrogen and hydrogen reacts together, it produces ammonia. Like that in last class we have seen. Now just we are going to do the reverse. That is, when we heat the ammonia, it will be decomposed into nitrogen and hydrogen. Okay, the temperature and the catalyst, these are very, very important. You should not forget to write. The next one, reaction with air. With pure air, the ammonia does not react. But when we are keeping this ammonia in the contact of oxygen only, it will start to react and it will produce a yellowish flame. That yellowish flame is nothing but nitrogen gas. Okay, in the lab, in the last year also, we have done the flame test for alkali metals. Do you remember that calcium gives brick red color, apple green for barium, all those things we have done in the lab. Okay, same way, when we are heating this ammonia in the presence of oxygen alone, what flame we will get? Yellowish flame we will get. Okay, so in 1 mark they may ask, okay, what is the color of the flame? What flame test answers for ammonia? Like that they can ask. Okay, the next one here, when this ammonia is heated in the presence the same reaction only, but here we are taking platinum. In the presence of platinum biogas as a catalyst, when we are doing this reaction, we will get nitric oxide. This nitric oxide only is used to prepare nitric acid in Ostwald's process. So in Ostwald process is a major process which is used to prepare nitric acid. Okay, so here in that Ostwald process, the first reagent, otherwise the source, that is nothing but nitrogen monoxide, otherwise nitric oxide. From this nitric oxide only we are going to prepare nitric acid. That is the next topic. In this nitric acid I will tell about that. Okay, so once again we will get the same equation there so that you can remember. Okay, so here when this ammonia reacts with oxygen in the presence of platinum catalyst, it produces nitric oxide and water. This nitric oxide is used for preparation of nitric acid. The process is called Ostwald's process. So if they are asking you 2 mark question, write Ostwald's process, means you have to write, okay, Ostwald's process. Now tell me, what is Ostwald's process? When ammonia reacts with oxygen in the presence of platinum catalyst, we will get nitric oxide. From this nitric oxide, we will get nitric acid. Okay, the nitric acid preparation, it will come in the next topic, we will see. Okay, the next one here, the next property of this ammonia is it is a reducing property. That means it can act as a reducing agent. Okay, so reducing or reduction. What is reduction? Removal of oxygen. Then gain of electron, addition of hydrogen. These are all called as reduction process. Okay, So here this ammonia is acting as a reducing agent. That means it can convert the metal oxide. Here what is the metal oxide here? Lead oxide. Okay, lead oxide is converted into lead. That means here the oxygen is removed. Removal of oxygen is taking place. So this reaction is called as reduction reaction. Okay, so PbO is converted into Pb. How it is converted? What we have used here? Here we are using ammonia. So when we use ammonia, the oxygen is removed from this metal oxide. So metal oxide is converted into metal by means of ammonia. So who is doing this work? Ammonia is doing this work. So we can say ammonia is acting as a reducing agent. Okay, so reduction. Give an example for the reduction property of ammonia. If they ask this, you can write easily. Okay, we can ammonia can convert metal oxide into metal. That's all. Okay. The next one here, reaction with acids. Here, this water has a greater affinity for proton. We know H plus cannot exist alone. Always it will exist as H3O plus. Okay. So hydronium ion will exist. We know. Okay. Same way here, this ammonia NH3 as a lone pair of electron. Nitrogen has a lone pair of electron. Using this lone pair of electron, it will capture one H plus. Otherwise, it is very affinity. It has very affinity towards the proton. So it can form bond with this lone pair of electron. Any acid, for example, ammonia plus hydrochloric acid, or ammonia plus nitric acid, ammonia plus sulfuric acid. Any acid we can take. When we are treating with the acid, suddenly it can form bond with this proton because it has a greater affinity for proton. So that we will get the product as ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride. Okay. So any acid you take, the final product will be like this. Okay, ammonium chloride, or whatever may be the acid, based on the anion part will be present there. The next one here, reaction with chlorine and chloride. Okay, reaction with chlorine and chloride. Okay, here the final product is ammonium chloride only for both chlorine and chloride. But the reaction mechanism is different based on the condition. Okay, what we are taking, whether we are taking the ammonia excessively or whether we are taking chlorine excessively. Based on the condition, the reaction mechanism is different, but the product is same. Both for chlorine and chloride, the final product is ammonium chloride. Okay, so here when we are taking the ammonia excessively, when the ammonia reacts with chlorine, it produces nitrogen gas. It produces nitrogen gas and hydrochloric acid. Nitrogen gas and hydrochloric acid. When we take then this with this hydrochloric acid, again when we add excess of ammonia, then you will get the product ammonium chloride. Okay, so here the intermediate product is what here? Here N2, nitrogen is the intermediate product. But when we take the chlorine excessively, when we take 6 moles of chlorine, only 2 moles of ammonia, then the product here, the intermediate product here, nitrogen trichloride, NCl3, nitrogen trichloride. This nitrogen trichloride is an explosive substance. Okay, it will explode. Okay, explode. So after so that we can understand here, the final product here also is ammonium chloride only. So we can see here with the excess of ammonia, the intermediate product is N2, but here nitrogen trichloride. Okay, again when we treat this HCl with this ammonia, finally we are getting ammonium chloride. Okay, so here the next one, how this ammonia gas and nitrogen chloride gas reacts and produce ammonium chloride. Solid gas and gas are reacting, but we are getting the product as a solid. That I will show you in the video. Ammonia and hydrogen chlorine are in gaseous state. Now we are going to get the product in solid state. Simply it is a acid-base reaction only. Now let's see how it reacts.
We're going to look at an acid-base reaction between HCl gas and ammonia gas. There's still a transfer of hydrogen ion from the acid HCl to the base ammonia. It will I'm going to add some concentrated aqueous ammonia to one of the flasks.
Here they are adding ammonia.
We're going to add some concentrated
Here,
hydrochloric acid.
hydrochloric acid
Yeah.
they are adding.
Most of our studies of acids and bases are going to be in solution. But you do not need to have an aqueous solution to have an acid-base reaction.
So when both reacts, it produces ammonium chloride. We can see in solid state. Next one here, formation of amides and nitrites. Formation of amides and nitrites. Amide, what is the formula for amide? The general formula. In organic chemistry we have learned, okay, amide, CONH2, okay. So here in inorganic, amide is NH2, okay. When it reacts with the electropositive metal, that is Na, okay, sodium, it produces amide, sodamide. When it reacts with magnesium, it produces magnesium nitride, okay. So you have to remember, when ammonia reacts with sodium, it produces amide, sodamide. The products are amide products. When it reacts with magnesium, the products are nitrites. Okay, the next one here, reaction with metallic salts. Okay, so here the salt, just I have written only the cationic part. The anionic part may be anything. Okay, for example, ferric sulfate. Okay, here copper sulfate, whatever it may be. Okay, so just I have written only the cationic part alone. How this ammonia reacts then. Okay, when this ammonia reacts with this metallic salts, okay, it will produces ferrous like ions, produces ferrous hydroxides. Hydroxides are product. When it reacts with copper, it produces the complex compounds. Okay, coordination complex compounds it produces. Okay, in the 5th chapter we are going to learn detailedly about this coordination complex, how this ammonia can act as a ligand. Now you don't know what is ligand, what is coordination sphere, what is sentimental atom, you don't know anything now. Okay, so after this lesson, when we are dealing with the 5th chapter, we will know. Okay, so when the copper reacts with NH3, it produces tetraamide copper 2 ion. Okay, then it is a coordination complex. Next one here, formation of amides. When we are treating this ammonia with this copper sulfate, it produces a complex. I said the complex color is here deep blue color. Okay, so this complex ammonia, it has the electrons, the free electrons when it produces the color. This part also, again I repeat, this metallic salts property and this formation of amides. Okay, both are coordination complexes. We are going to discuss in the 5th chapter. Okay, now the next one here, structure of ammonia. What is the structure of ammonia? One more question they can ask. Okay, here 2 types they are telling. Okay, the first one here, the general structure they are asking it is pyramidal shape, but particularly they are mentioning with lone pair of electron. What is the shape of ammonia they are asking? Then it is tetrahedral shape. Okay, so without lone pair, simply it is pyramidal shape. With lone pair, it is tetrahedral shape. Okay, so you have to remember. Okay, the shapes: pyramidal shape, tetrahedral shape, the back side bond. Okay, so here you can remember the nitrogen atomic number 7, so that we will get the electron contribution 2, 5. Here 5 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electrons are present. 3 electrons are involved in bond formation of the hydrogen. 2 electrons are present as a lone pair of electron. This 3 hydrogen donates its 1 electron and forms bond. The bond distance between this nitrogen and hydrogen is 1.016 angstrom, and the bond distance between hydrogen and angstrom, and bond angle is 107 degree. Okay, this is the points about the structure of ammonia. So that's all about this ammonia. Ammonia, one in preparation, physical property and chemical properties. So finally the structure. Now you can copy these equations and practice each and every equation 2 or 3 times, and close your book and write the equations without seeing your book. Okay, so just you can write the side headings. You can write, okay, what is the action of heat on ammonia, how it will react with oxygen, how it will react with air, then how it reacts with chlorine and chloride, what is the reducing property, how it reacts with acid, how it reacts with the sodium and magnesium, and what is the product there, then reaction with metallic salts. All those things you have to repeat again and again and have to write. Okay, because in the exam directly they can ask, sometimes they will ask only, they will give the reactant side, then they ask you to complete the following equations. Okay, so like that they can give.